Hey everyone, you're here with Mark Batwa at PerfectGardens.com, and today this is what I'm going to show you. The first sign of flowering. Today I came out to check out my garden and I started to see the early pistil development, and today is July 20th, and you'll see how fast these cannabis plants revert over into flowering. Let's go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I came out into my garden and this was the first thing I noticed right here was the early flower development and just the early start of the pistils, or the tips of the flowers just starting to change. And I noticed this as being the first sign of flowering because the color of the center of the cannabis plants begin to change right here. The color changes to a light green and it looks like new growth, but it's not new growth. This is the first sign of flowering. The flowering process happens very quickly. Most people don't realize how fast it actually happens, and is the reason why a lot of growers end up never seeing the true potential of a cannabis plant, because a lot of growers will end up accidentally putting clones, because that's what most of the ginger industry works from, and they put the plants outdoors a little too early. And right there in the beginning, within 24 hours, they start going into flowering. And when that happens and they begin to switch over all the hormones, to revert back from flowering could take anywhere from 3 weeks to 5 weeks. They go through this contorted, all messed up leaves that go in all different directions. The plant really loses its strength and its true potential just because of not knowing, first, how sensitive the plants are, second, not realizing how fast the plants will actually revert into flowering, and third, not comprehending how drastic it is for the plant to have to revert back from flowering back into veg. So many times people will actually end up taking clones off plants that go into flowering and revert back to veg. I would highly recommend to never do this. Once your plants go into flowering, do not bring them back into veg. You will be dealing with problems with that clone and all the future clones coming from that genetics forever. You will literally be spending more time and frustration trying to deal with those problems than you are enjoying your gardening experience and reaching the full potential that these plants can offer you. So once again, know your schedule, comprehend twilight for the subtle changes in your plants. At this point right now, I can guarantee you that these plants will continue to keep growing for about another 2 to 2.5 weeks. Things to be mindful though, if you are growing from seed, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, any of these plants that are male plants will begin to produce their pollen sacs. If I want pollen, that's great. If I don't want pollen, I'm going to want to cut off those pollen sacs so that they do not pollinate my female plants. If it does that, then I'm going to have sensimilla seeds basically throughout my entire crop. It's okay. A lot of seeded products still ends up producing super top shelf high quality flower, and if I get seeds, not a big deal, because I'm going to be able to get another opportunity to grow these plants the following year. Although I don't want that, but what I do want is to get some seeds. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut off the pollen sacs, ensuring that that male plant produces female flowers, because they will only produce those pollen sacs around the 3rd week into flowering. If I can get rid of the pollen sacs with enough time and they don't open up, then they won't pollinate the rest of my garden. Although I will leave some pollen sacs on to collect the pollen and pollinate a part of my plant, because what's really interesting, if I collect the pollen and actually just pollinate a single flower, then that single flower will end up producing seeds, while the remainder of the plant doesn't produce any seeds. It's a very advanced technique. I would highly recommend to not do it if you do not know what you're doing. If you have never dealt with male plants, if you've never dealt with pollen, if you've never dealt with these things, I would just recommend to pull your male plants and just don't deal with the headache. Although, if you're someone like me that doesn't mind dealing with seeds, doesn't mind working through Sensimilla if I do make a mistake, and I enjoy advancing my own skills, like yourself, if you're a gardener that wants to advance your skills, then have fun and enjoy yourself. And no matter what happens, know that you've improved as a gardener this season. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great grow, everyone.